really quickly, we're going to talk about the gig economy, talk about an example in the technology space, and then we'll bring it home and we'll give a couple of different examples. So to start, I'll give you a little bit background of the company that I'm a part of, Topcoder. And a lot of people refer to us, Topcoder, as a crowdsourcing company, or as a virtual work company, or as a talent marketplace. And I actually don't think any of those terms really fit what we do. When we started the company, we were really simple. We were a bunch of engineers, and we just thought really idealistically about, wouldn't it be awesome if we could just get the right person whenever we need them, on demand, the right technologist, the right data scientist, the right designer. And that was the concept that we had from the very beginning of Topcoder. So we ended up trying to build it. And we said, let's build a network, let's build a community, is what we call ourselves, of like-minded individuals. We spanned those three disciplines, so data science, like developing of algorithms, application development, and creative design as it relates to application development. And and as we built the model, the underpinning of it was, well, how do we attract these people? And we said, well, it has to be monetized, right? There needs to be payment, there needs to be retribution, and that's one piece of it. But the big thing is that we wanted it to be fun. Because, a lot of people talked about today passion. Passion is more powerful than anything else that I've seen in Topcoder. If you're passionate about what you want to do, then that really can drive behavior more than money can, right? More than the desire to learn, and that's what one of the learnings along the way. Kind of fast forward to where we are today. And Topcoder is a global network, global community of software developers, 1.2 million people. We run competitions, right? That's like our main thing. People know us. If we want to go create an app or build an algorithm or solve a design problem, we make it a fun competition. We allow people to come in and compete against each other and trash talk and win money and learn stuff. So that's kind of what our model is. We do that over 10,000 times every year. And it's all to build digital assets for our customers. We've paid out over $100 million of prize money. So again, like the prize money does make the world go round, but it's the passion and the fact that people see themselves on a leaderboard. And they can see that, hey, I am number 115 out of 10,000 data scientists that competed in the last year. It's huge. Like, it's a huge motivational factor. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on Topcoder, and actually the middle number here, the 96%, that was the thing that kind of floored us, is like 96% fulfillment. I couldn't get that out of my own team to save my life in my entire history of a product manager, project manager, technology architect, like not even close. So that was kind of the most surprising thing, is like what competition actually does to people and how they perform. So a little bit about some of the myths of these models, like crowdsourcing models. So one is that it really can't be used for hugely complex tasks. So this is an example of something that we're running right now. It's for IARPA. IARPA is the research arm of the intelligence agency. And it's to build a functional map of the world. So it's a computer vision problem. It's a fairly standard computer science problem, but ridiculously complex. So how do you take, a known data set of, okay, this is a building, and this is used for this, and this is a playground, and this is an industrial center, and this is industrial gas, and all these things that, you want to be able to identify. And we can do that in the United States, in specific cities, really intricately. But can we take that and create an algorithm that learns from that data and then can apply it to the rest of the world, right? So that's what this problem is. We're on our second leg of it. Results are phenomenal, but this is a really complex problem. $100,000 of prize money. It could be $0 of prize money. We would never do that, but people would still compete because it's such an awesome problem. It's such a neat, fun, cool problem. And obviously what we can do with it is important. Another myth is on the quality side of it, that you sacrifice quality when you go to unknown people, is what kind of, a lot of people will say it's a crowd, it's unknown. Again, I go back and I say it's a community, right? There's a lot of known entities out there. This is something that we built for Razorfish, and it's a design project. And Razorfish has amazing designers, and they could certainly do this. But what they couldn't do is the way that we did it. So we ran this project, and we ran it over 7 days. We had 77 people register for it, interest. We got 17 countries to participate and submit 27 different submissions. And the end result was a combination of a bunch of different submissions, right? Everybody that submits and anybody's IP that gets used gets compensated for it. It's never about paying a low amount of money. We want to pay as much as we can, for the job. That's always our motto. And reward people that do really well. But take a look at those countries, like Zambia, Spain, Poland, Guatemala, United States. When have you ever been able to create a project team of people from these countries in a 7-day period of time and create something? Like, exactly never, right? So that's something that's just a different approach to how you can solve problems. And the final myth is that, well, can it be used at scale? Is it really applicable to me as a big company? Can it be used in my project? It sounds great. I'd love to build a t-shirt with it. But can I use it at scale? And this is our most successful commercial client. Has a phenomenal visionary CTO, recently left, but he was there and he established Topcoder as the way to get things done. We've run in 8 years, 152 projects with Comcast. 2,600 engineers have worked on their products, and just over 14,000 or just under 14,000 units of work. So these are these are products that are in your hands as consumers, that were built through competitions and access to these resources. So it can be done at scale. So those are kind of some of the myths I just wanted to kind of throw out there immediately. So how does it work? The way that it's designed is we atomize down problems in a way that allows us to let people specialize. So like when we started this model, like I said at the beginning, it was all about, can we find really smart people? And wouldn't that be cool? It's like, wouldn't it be great if I could just have pizza right now, right? And it was like that simple of a concept. And then we realized it's so much greater than that. Like, we're actually democratizing opportunity to people that would never have the chance to work on an IARPA project or a Comcast project. And they could be in the US. It doesn't matter where they are. It's just that they earn the right to do that work. They earn the right to be part of that solution. And that's what was so much bigger than Topcoder, than any idea that we ever had. But the secret behind it is this idea of atomizing things down and then allowing people to self-select into what they're interested in. So what are they passionate about? And again, back to our simple idea, we always thought that there's a best person to do something because they're the smartest, or they've been trained the most, or they've gone to the best schools, or they've done it before. But in fact, it's like, well, who wakes up that morning and is most passionate about solving that problem? Like, that's probably going to be the best person. And that's what we kind of figured out as we went. And you could be passionate about one thing on Monday and another thing about Friday. So from a workforce perspective, it's a really cool way to decide, what you're going to work on, when you're going to work on things. And then the end of it, it's all about creating a digital asset. So it has to be something that's finished and measurable. A lot of the talks today that I've learned from, there's a lot of things that are not in a spreadsheet or in a statistic or measured. And we tend to always try to put something in that line. Like, that's some of the learnings that I'm going to take from this, is like, what other network effects can we do that are softer, right? That are more around passion and people feeling good about what they're doing about. So I learned a ton from today's talks. And let's see. Okay, so just a couple of core tenets of how Topcoder works. And one, just to start with, it's this whole idea of atomization again. Like that was the most important thing that we did. Like you can't just throw something out there and expect somebody to be an expert at everything. It's not fair to the people. You can do it, but you'll sacrifice. If you can break it down and allow people to say, what, I want to be the best designer of Apple Watch applications in the world, right? That's something they can be passionate about. Or I want to be the best computer vision programmer in the world. And then finally, that allows them to specialize. The competition aspect of it, a lot of people will say, well, that's really cutthroat, right? What about the people that don't win? Remember, they're self-selecting in. They know what they're getting into. And it's not about not paying a lot. I would prefer to pay 2-3 times what it's worth because I think the quality is that much better. But the competition gets people energized. It gets that 96% fulfillment rate. It gets them excited when they see their profile has another badge on it, right? And they have another statistic on their leaderboard that shows that they've done something. So it really does drive a lot of the behavior of the community. And then finally, transparency. Like everything we do, like how somebody's going to get graded. If they're competing for their paycheck, you've got to be specific. So there's a lot of aspects of it that have to be very transparent. This is one of the people, just one of the many, right? So Albert Wang, he's out of China. He's incredibly productive. He's made well over $1 million. I don't know. Could be probably nearing $2 million. He just loves what he does. And when he started in 2004, he only did it part-time because his family shunned it. It wasn't the thing to do. You're supposed to get a job. This is the way it works. You went to, I think he was PhD. You had to, you weren't supposed to do this. And then eventually he just went more and more, and now he does it full-time. And he's phenomenal. I mean, you'd be lucky to get him on your project. And he also does this role of a co-pilot for us, which is a person that helps manage these different atomized pieces of work. So that's a career path that we've created for people like this. It's not all, so Topcoder is an example, but there are other companies. These are companies that do similar things. So Local Motors builds cars, right? It's competition. They bring people together. They work together. Tongle is another one. They build video clips. They build commercials. They build, they're out of Santa Monica, LA. Awesome company, college friends of mine. Mesh01 is another crowdsourcing company. They build things like the next running shoe for Adidas, right? They'll design it, do the CAD diagrams, all through competition. And XPRIZE, and everybody knows XPRIZE, they're a little bit different, but the coolest thing about this slide is that we all work together. And that's what's called a network effect, right? So Airbus comes to us and says, hey, I want to build a drone air traffic control system with Topcoder and a drone through Local Motors, and it's got to work together. And that's the coolest thing to me is starting to see that happen is really neat. And so to wrap this up, I want to tell a little bit about what do I see coming next. So it's just my own vantage point of our model and those other companies. One is, and it's all about these network effects. So I kind of look at things like, can you make same-side network effects that make your community stronger and smarter and healthier? Can you do cross-side network effects that grow the amount of opportunity that the community can work on from the customer base? So one thing that we're all doing is trying to make it easier. So I want to be able to use my mobile phone and pull up an application to build the next mobile app for Topcoder. I want to do it right through my phone. I just want to be able to click a few buttons and build the next version of it. See a bunch of awesome designs, get somebody to code it up, run a competition to find the bugs, fix the bugs. So we're building a product called Connect. It's been out for a year and a half. It's still going through a lot of iterations. But Connect is all about building an app like that, but it's geared towards not the large enterprises. It's geared towards small to medium-sized businesses. It's geared towards somebody that has a credit card, wants to go build a mobile application, is running a restaurant, and can't get access to the best developers in the world. That's where I think the future is going to be, because I love the large enterprises. They pay the bills and they're great. But large enterprises are starting to look more like a ton of startups. So that's where I think like a lot of this model, we'll be able to adapt to that better than a 300,000 person consulting organization. So I think that's one area that will do a cross-side network effect. And then the second one is really neat. It's called hybrid crowd. So it's the ability to not just run work on a public, maybe you can bring your own crowd into it, right? Maybe we could take this entire community right here and do an ideation contest and then have the public crowd design it and then have Microsoft engineers build it, right? Wouldn't that be cool? But all use these crowdsourcing techniques, like use the ability to run a competition with your internal people. So that's one of the things we're working on, and the thing that we'll launch that I'm really passionate about in November is one for the Veterans Administration. So we'll have a community of vets, and partnership with NASA, they've got a whole set of projects that they want to give special access to just veterans. So you guys be the community that does this. All our prize money is going to go towards the veterans community. But think about that. If you're your own, hey, maybe you want to take a coding competition or a QA competition and just run it on vets because you're passionate about that. So that's where I see some of this going. It's allowing it to create those network effects and grow the model. So with that, I think I am out of time.